Spicer, always great to see you. Look, the media treatment of Kamala Harris, what do you make of it?
How much time do you have? I mean, this is unbelievable, Andrew. They put her on the cover of Time magazine the other day. It was a beautiful cover, by the way, absolutely beautiful. And it said her moment. And they had to admit that they hadn't had an interview with her. Now, think about that. They literally did a cover story on her, fawning all over her without ever having spoken to her. They have no idea what her policies are because she refuses to comment on them. Her website has a bio page and a donation page. There's nothing of substance there. I mean, look, I'm kind of by the end of the month. And he said, we'll do at least one interview by the end of the month. That's it. And they don't care. It is literally unbelievable. They got caught yesterday, the Harris campaign, manipulating Google searches and changing the headline and the contents of media stories here in the US, the epitome of fake news and disinformation. And no one in the media actually cared about it. I mean, they were literally taking stories from CNN, the Associated Press, Reuters, CBS News, changing the story and putting it out under those banners of the news art, and not crickets. I've never seen anything of this in my life. If it wasn't so laughable, I'd be crying.
So a spokesman will give interviews, but the candidate herself will not. I mean, this is just so bizarre. And Americans have got to vote for this person to be their president for 4 years. And the best spokesman can do is say, oh, well, we'll give you maybe one interview, probably to a friendly journalist, one interview, and what would that make it? About the first month and a bit of her candidacy? I mean, it's just extraordinary.
But it's worse than that. I want everyone in Australia to understand this. Election day is November 5th, but early voting in America in a lot of states starts in September. Their goal is to run the clock out. They don't, as I said, it's not just that you won't do an interview. They won't put out a position paper. They're telling the media, well, we're against this now, we're for this, but there is no concrete ability to examine a position that she has on the economy, on the military, on veterans, on energy. Not one issue has she put out anything. And when you do say something about something that she said in the past, fracking, for example, all of these issues that she ran on when she ran for president, the most they will do is she no longer supports that position. Well, what's her new position? We won't tell you. And so it's not that she won't even do interviews. They won't tell you where she stands on anything except to correct you that she doesn't stand for what she used to stand for, but she won't tell you what she stands for now. It is unreal. And this is it's kind of synonymous. Have been talking about democracy dying, under attack. The quintessential piece to democracy is the free exchange of ideas, being able to vote. And what have they done? Number one, hidden from the media. And number two, they kicked off Robert F. Kennedy off a ballot. They are the anti-democratic party. They literally are doing everything to undermine democracy from flourishing. And yet they want to point the finger at the other party.
He went to a war zone with the National Guard. In fact, he quit as soon as he heard that they were going to be deployed to Iraq. He quit. And that he reached the rank of Command Sergeant Major before he retired. Now, both claims are false. He never made Command Sergeant Major. He didn't pass any of the exams. But now this guy is saying people shouldn't denigrate military service.
Right.
Now, it seems to me most of the media is giving this guy a pass for lying.
He allowed people to ascribe to him the status of having gone to war, to Afghanistan. That's a lie. Number two, he personally said multiple times that he used weapons of war. He's never done that. He never served in a war zone, never went forward. Again, his service is one thing, but lying about and trying to pretend that he actually went forward as a combat is something that people have killed themselves for. I don't mean to be dramatic, but Admiral Borda, a future Navy, a previous Navy leader, killed himself because there were claims that he was using the Valor, in one of his awards, and he hadn't actually earned it. I mean, that's how serious this stuff's taken. He used the secondly, it said he misspoke when he said that he used weapons of war, right? It's not us attacking him. He's the one who corrected it. Now, in our military, if somebody claims to be a Navy SEAL and didn't actually go to Buzz, and what they're trying to do with the media's help, mind you, is say, oh, you're attacking his service. Well, it's the same media way, by the way, in the United States that has gone after countless politicians for wearing insignia that wasn't earned, maybe a warfare pin, or using a rank that wasn't earned, or someone who previously claimed or alluded to the fact that they had gone to war. It's just, when it comes to Tim Walz, apparently, hands off.
And Kamala Harris, both of them, it's just unbelievable. They're walking through the fires with some sort of mystical protection all around them thanks to the media. I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre what I'm seeing. But just to finish up there, Sean, unfortunately for the Republicans, it seems to be working in the polls. Or have I got that wrong? Because I did see the pollster Frank Luntz point out that in his polling, he'd never seen so much Republican support from union members for Donald Trump. And yet the polls suggest that Kamala Harris is ahead in now a number of swing states that she needs to win to become president.
Well, here's what I'd say, because there's several polls. We just had one of the big accurate pollsters, I would say, Robert Cahaly from the Trafalgar Group on my podcast. There's no question that the race has tightened. Like, once you get rid of Joe Biden, they were willing to take a doorknob, to be honest with you. It was anybody but Biden they were happy with. Remember, this woman, Kamala Harris, was rated the most unpopular vice president in U.S. history 30 days ago. Suddenly, she's the most popular person. It's not a question of them loving her. I think it was just anybody but Biden. And I think that the Trump campaign has to do two things. Number one, focus on the issues and policies. The name calling, and I think I've said this to you before, is like yelling at the referees in the middle of a game. It's not
because that will be critical to getting out the vote. We shall see. It's still several months to go. It all lies into whether it's fake or real, this enthusiasm for Kamala Harris. Thank you so much for your time, Sean Spicer.
As always, Andrew, thank you.
Tic Tacs, right? I don't know if I like the company. I've never met. I have no idea. They're so lucky. Look at all the television. This is the greatest commercial they ever had. But that's what happened. This is inflation. This is Tic Tac. This is inflation. This is what's happened. I just happened to have somebody gave me this one today. I said, I think we'll put it up as an example of inflation.